Do not sell. Do not sell. Do not sell. This is what I wish I could tell my younger self. That's why I'm here talking to you about it. I wish I could sit down with my 23-year-old self over coffee and say, do not sell the condo. I just want to open up and talk about some of the things I've learned and what I would tell my younger self. I'm talking to you, 20-year-old little sister or little brother. This is so important. I have to share. At 23, buying a condo in Boston was one of the things that I was most proud of. You have no idea. I was teaching English. No, at that time I was teaching Spanish. I was making such a small amount of money. I don't even know how I was surviving, but I was saving my money. I really wanted to buy my own home. That was a dream for me, and I finally accomplished it. That was like the American dream, right? So I bought it, lived there for 3 years. I felt so grown up, so accomplished, so responsible. But then I got a contract to teach English in Japan, and I kind of freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to be a landlord. I don't know what I'm going to do. If something breaks, it's going to be too expensive. How will I afford it? How will I find a good tenant? Blah, 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 blah. Now I know the answers to all those questions, but I wish I had had someone at that time in my life, or maybe I had had the assertiveness to go find someone at that time in my life to talk about it, how to be a landlord at 24. Because when I got that opportunity, that life changing opportunity to go back to Japan, that was my second contract in Japan, actually. But anyway, instead of keeping the condo and figuring it out, I sold it. At the time, I thought I was being practical. I thought, I'm not ready to be a landlord. What if something breaks? What if I have a $400 plumbing repair and can't afford it? What if this is too much responsibility? So I sold it. And today, that condo would be worth almost 4 times what I paid for it. And honestly, I regret selling it. I am not here to tell you about all my regrets, but I'm here to tell you to change your mindset. When I was your age, oh my gosh, I sound so old. I thought I wasn't even going to live past 35. I don't know why I had this weird thought. Maybe it was anxiety, but I thought it doesn't matter. I don't really need to prepare for older age. I don't want to say old age because I'm not old right now, but I really didn't know how to think long term. Maybe because I didn't have other people in my life really modeling that either. But the biggest lesson is not specific to this condo. The big lesson here is if you're trying to get ahead financially, if you're trying to get out of making ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck, I need you to hear this. The thing that keeps people stuck is not lack of intelligence. You're smart. I'm smart. It's lack of long-term thinking. You're thinking too short-term. You're worried about, you're not seeing the forest for the trees. You're worried about a very small cost or expense that might come up soon, but you're not thinking about, yeah, 5, 10, 20 years from now, what this thing could be worth. All right. So the condo is an example. And in my 20s, I made so many decisions based on what felt safe in the moment. I didn't feel like I had a safety net. And we can talk more about that maybe in another episode, what to do if you don't have a safety net, because that's been huge for me. So if you don't have a family or parents that pay for stuff for you, if you're not married to a rich partner, I've got you. I've got some advice for you. I was always thinking, what can I afford right now? What if something goes wrong? What if I make a mistake? What if I don't know what I don't know? And I was almost never asking, what if this works? What will my future self wish I had done in this moment? And the condo is a perfect example. So I was so focused on a possible $400 repair. I mean, I didn't even have a repair to make. I was just thinking I don't know, random, what if the toilet breaks or something? I don't even know why I was so worried about that, but I thought that could be a likely thing that could happen. I don't even know. But I completely missed that possibility of building hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity and having a home in Boston to go back to after Japan. Like, mind blown. Why didn't I even think about that? So, the truth that I wish I'd known is you will figure things out. You will. Like, if I had needed to find a plumber to repair something, if I had needed to find $400 I didn't have, I would have figured it out. If I needed help managing the property to find a tenant, I would have figured it out. Like, there are services to do that. I had no clue though. If I needed to figure out how to be a landlord at 24 from literally the other side of the world, I would have learned. We're so much more capable than we think. And I think the biggest issue is just lack of belief in ourselves, because maybe you don't have someone in your life, in your family or your close friend group who has done something like this, whether, we're talking about my example or something else in your life. Like, maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to become a landlord. Maybe, I don't know, you want to like build an app. I don't know what it is, but I know there's something that you want to do, but you're doubting yourself right now. And when we make decisions from fear based on like, what if something, might go wrong, we shrink our future. And I don't want that for you. I want like the biggest, most beautiful future for you. So here's a question for you. What is one thing that you're talking yourself out of right now because you're afraid that you're not ready? Tell me in the comments. I want to know, because maybe you're more ready than you think. We can talk about it more in another episode. But maybe the risk is actually you backing down. Maybe that is the biggest risk. And another thing I want to say is, like, when I was in my 20s, everyone from my family to my colleagues to my friends was telling me, don't worry, you have so much time, you have like your whole life ahead of you. I mean, yes, but you do know that the earlier you can invest in assets like real estate or like the stock market or whatnot, the better the outcome will likely be, right? So like, by giving that up or by not doing it, you're literally sabotaging your future self. So, okay, if you want to get ahead financially, stop only thinking about money as something to spend. In my 20s, I was so concerned about keeping up with like my friends who had designer purses and like cute outfits. And I think that's kind of how we're trained by social media now. And yeah, like our purpose is to look cute. Start thinking about assets instead of, spending all your money on clothes. Think about saving for a down payment. Assets are things that can grow over time, and then you can buy even more purses and shoes, and they can make your future so much easier. It can give you that FU money. You'll be freer and more secure. And maybe that's real estate, maybe it's investments, maybe it's building a business, learning a new skill, creating content. That's been life-changing for me as well. Maybe it's building relationships, because honestly, I've learned that who you know is so much more important than what you know. I mean, they're both important, but we can talk about that more later too. And in your 20s, 10 years feels so far away, like it might never come. But I promise you, it goes faster than you think. And one day you wake up and you realize the thing you almost gave up on could have changed everything. And I know some people watching this are probably thinking, okay, but what if I make the wrong choice? What if it doesn't turn out perfectly? But honestly, you probably will make the wrong choice. I mean, wrong. I don't think there really is a wrong choice. I think there are lessons that you learn and they make you stronger. But I mean, get as much information as you can and then make the choice that future you will thank you for, given everything that you know. I've made plenty of wrong choices, and we can talk more about them too. I'd be happy to. But the biggest mistakes in my life are usually not the times that I tried and failed, or I don't even like saying fail. How about tried and learned a lesson? They're the times I got scared and quit too soon, when I bailed out. So I'm not saying to be reckless. I'm not saying drain your bank account, ignore reality, or make decisions with no plan. I'm saying take calculated risks and believe in yourself. The kind of risks where you think things through, but you don't let fear make the final decision. Because fear is so convincing. And honestly, there might be people in your life right now who are planting seeds of fear in your mind because they do want the best for you, but they're also afraid to take calculated risks. Maybe they never did. And so they're projecting that fear on you, but it's not your fear. Fear will tell you you're too young. You know, when I started my other YouTube channel, I was 27 and I felt like I was too young. Now I look back and I'm like, I was old. The fear might tell you you don't know enough. I also had that fear. Uh, you can always do it later. Yeah, that is BS. This is safer, also BS, because safe is not safer. Okay, that's a little confusing. Safe means that you're not going to plant the seeds that are going to grow into this beautiful garden. Safe, I imagine, is like planting one little seed and, hoping that it grows, but it's not going to grow as much as if you jump in and take a calculated risk. Sometimes safe costs you way more in the long run. Selling that condo felt safe. I literally did not make any money selling that condo. It's the saddest thing ever. Holding on to it, even though it felt scary, would have been better in the long term. And there's so many other ways that I did this in my 20s. I played too small. I worried too much. I didn't ask for what I probably deserved. I backed down too quickly. I let people walk all over me, being the nice girl. And this might sound dramatic, but when I was younger, I honestly didn't even think I would live to the age I am now. I've also learned that being nice doesn't really get you that far. Being nice can be self-sabotaging and it can be also detrimental to other people. Having boundaries and communicating them in a clear and kind way is way, way better than being nice. So anyway, I didn't always think long term. I thought in survival mode. And survival mode, ironically, will be the thing that kills you. I mean, not literally, but it will be the thing that sabotages you. And maybe some of you can relate to that. Now that I'm a little older, I realize that you have to live like your future self matters. Like it's your number one job and priority to take care of your future self. It's not the job of some like Prince Charming to come take care of you. I know that's the fantasy, right? No, your number one job is to take care of your future self. Because your future self does matter and life is awesome. It's even more awesome when you plant those seeds today and make the decisions that your future self will be glad you made. So there's one more thing that I wish I had done much earlier that I'm starting to do now. I'm really excited about, but it would have changed my life and so many decisions earlier on. I wish I had found older, especially female, because I'm female, mentors. I really wish when I was in my 20s, I knew more or paid more attention also to wise women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And one of my goals for this year is to make more friendships with women in their 70s and 80s. And I am so glad to say that I have been successful with doing this. And meeting with my new friends, my wise women mentor friends, has been just some of the most rewarding and just soul food. It's been nourishment for my soul to meet with these women. These women might tell me, don't panic, you'll figure it out. They might have told me, don't sell the condo. Think bigger. You don't have to make decisions from fear. And they really want to help build my confidence. And on the same note, I really want to help build your confidence. I'm speaking to you as my younger self, and maybe that's what they're doing with me too. So I love this passing down of generational wisdom from woman to woman. And I just want to encourage you to do that. Don't give up so easily on yourself. Trust yourself more. Take the long view. And if I could go back to my younger self, I would say stop thinking so short term, take calculated risks. Don't let fear make your decisions. Don't back down. Like once you make a decision, stick with it. Of course, you can change your mind, but don't change your mind out of fear. Invest in assets. Trust yourself. Find wise mentors. Be aware of what they want, because some people who might seem to be wise mentors might actually want something else. But find yourself some wise mentors who really genuinely want the best for you. And please keep the condo. So maybe there's something in your life right now that feels scary. It could be one of the best decisions that you'll ever make. And before you back away from it, ask yourself, what would my older, wiser self want me to do? Because I have a feeling that you already know the answer. And in the next video, maybe I'll share more about how I'm finding and building friendships with wise older women, because it's honestly been one of the best things that I've done this year. If you want that video, or if you have questions about something else, let me know in the comments. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I'm long overdue to make these videos just to talk to you. You're in your 20s and I want you to make the most of it. This is such an exciting time. I love you, my younger sisters, and I will see you in the next video. Be sure to subscribe, like, and most of all, comment so I know what your questions might be, what your comments might be, how you're feeling, what's on your mind. All right, have a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.